A man with a sword is ambushed on a bridge, but clearly he's not one to be messed with. His name is Jubei, and he's a fighter for hire. His current mission is a fetch quest as a storm begins. The scene changes to a village full of dead, but something is strange. They all have these weird spots, and we get a hint as one of them seems to be puppeted by an unseen threat. This sparks an evacuation, under reports of a local epidemic. The local lord orders an investigation by the Koga clan to find the truth behind this sickness. During the meeting, a woman named Kagero shows up and demands to be included in the investigation. But when they try to reach the village, they are brutally slaughtered, with Kagero the only survivor, because she's captured. But when the assaulter attempts to claim his prize, he's interrupted by Jubei, who was there the whole time. He rescues Kagero and they make their escape, in part thanks to the leader of this group telling the rock guy, Tesai, to give up the chase before he ruins their mission. Kagero reports back and is told to further investigate who's now occupying the village. Elsewhere, Tesai has tracked down Jubei and is out for blood. Jubei takes a few hits and seems to try to be the pacifist, but combat is unavoidable. He lands a slice which causes Tesai to have an own goal moment. And now an old man dressed as a priest is trying to recruit him. But of course, Jubei says no. Bath time when a woman in ink shows up. She almost manages to gank him, but Jubei gets a wake-up shot right before she could strike. So there's a lot of ninja magic in this series. The monk provides exposition and world building, something about rebuilding the authority of Toyotomi, which is a threat to the Tokugawa government. So now we know when this is supposed to take place, between 1603 when Tokugawa established his shogunate and 1615 where the last holdout of Toyotomi were wiped out in the siege of Osaka. I'm kinda guessing though, it could take place after that. Apparently the monk is a Tokugawa spy and now he's outright offering gold for Jubei's help. A second time he's turned down, so the monk resorts to extortion. Now for more exposition in the form of character backstory, because the monk spy seems to know a lot more about Jubei than the warrior would like. Plus a reveal that the leader of the bad guys is someone Jubei has beef with. This leads them into their next encounter, the monk falling into a fight with a shadow guy and Jubei finding a woman praying at a temple. Though this turns out to be a puppet made of snakes, so you can guess who's back. But only for a moment because she gets TK'd before she can get interrogated by Kagero. Then she and Jubei meet back up with the monk spy, which continues their path to the village. Beginning its story as a movie from 1993, Ninja Scroll is an original by Madhouse that not enough people have seen. And I really don't just mean the movie. Madhouse also made a 13-episode series that aired from April to July of 2003. The movie runs for about an hour 30, which makes the total series a good size for its era. And while the 2003 series is a sequel to the movie, both are self-contained stories. The story is told in a way that feels like a period drama. It's a highly unique flavor for a Western audience. Japanese period dramas are a different breed, both in visual and character design. Even more so with the kind of old-world ninja mysticism that some can't even begin to imagine. While I wouldn't call the art direction or animation stunning, the visual design is defined and consistent with its setting, especially with how sharp and defined the character features are. While the heroine of the story changes between the movie and the series, Jubei doesn't. He's complex, principled and moral, and more than capable of rebuking someone who he believes is wrong. You could compare him to Kiryu. He'll do what he must, even if he doesn't like it. And when it's his mission, he'll see it through even at personal cost. Jubei will make you ask yourself, why can't lead roles be written like this anymore? Though we know the reason. The brain-rotten quota hires and painfully boring current generations that are about as well read as a refrigerator user manual wouldn't know how to write someone like Jubei without an overwhelming desire to change him, most likely as a self-insert. So the movie was about a latent conflict between Tokugawa and what's left of the Toyotomi clan. But what's the anime about? It starts with a chase through the woods as Jubei tries to catch some rest. And it gets weird right off the bat with a bunch of, unique designs. And their fighting is keeping Jubei awake. Man just wants to catch some shut-eye. Never seems to be able to. First thing you'll notice is that the character design is very different. It was 10 years between the movie and the series, so you'd expect it. trading in the majority of sharp angular male faces for a more blocky square chin feature. It's also worth saying that the show takes place 15 years after the movie, but it's still bloody and violent, so we're not missing out on any of that. Also seems like Jubei has become even more famous, which is weird for a supposed ninja, even a freelance one. And bits of world building tell us the important parts of the story are a dragon stone and a light maiden, with a scene shift to a secluded village, and you can guess that the girl Shigure might be said maiden. Jubei ends up in the village and does some pontification, specifically towards Shigure, who's asking him questions about the outside world. Then the peace is broken by a giant and the weirdo woman from earlier. The village is slaughtered. Sound familiar? Shigure is the only survivor and manages to escape, with a little bit of help. And Jubei is handed the dragon stone, then asked to give it to Shigure. She's traumatized from the event and collapses in the woods, and Jubei suspects that the stone brings more trouble than it's worth. He's correct. When Shigure finally gets her act together, she runs across a thief and some bandits, which leads to Monk Spy showing up again. So you can guess what's about to happen. Cryptic story exposition, and the giant is on the chase again. Cue another escape while Jubei finds himself in another village, ruined and abandoned that it is. And this is when he's attacked by a Catwoman. And of course, she and her allies get BTFO'd by Jubei while the Monk Spy deals with the giant, who's apparently a robot. Because of course he is. So far, the only info on the plot is two groups want both the girl and the stone because it's supposed to make them rich. Really doesn't give us a lot in the early episodes. It's an ever-revolving door of ninja in pursuit of Jubei and Shigure. So the ninja fights are constant and get wild when Shigure meets up with Jubei again, and he still hates the Monk Spy. Eventually, Jubei delivers the stone and takes his leave, but it's only episode 3. Thief does thief thing and walks right into Jubei's trap. Monk Spy was also watching. The stone gets split in two and half is stolen. Then more weird ninja designs. Look at this guy. He's literally a lantern controlling moths. Then the main plot takes a momentary backseat to completely different plots revolving around the main's party traveling and having random encounters. If the story only focused on the main plot, it would only last about 6 episodes. Besides, it's set up early on that Shigure wants to travel and see more of the country, since she's lived her entire life in that one valley village that's now basically gone. So of course they're going to add on more to that. It may seem weird to newer weebs, but it really does have the flow of anime back around Y2K. But at least the story's still fun. With the extra cast, there's more of a chance for comedy, especially with Thief Boy. You gotta have some laughs to break up the monotony and drama. This all turns the anime into more of a relaxed watch. The movie is intense from start to finish, and it doesn't hold back in events that might disgust you, as well as some of the brutality of the combat. So in a weird way, the anime is more balanced than the movie, but the movie is just the better story. And for the anime, the art and animation quality is still good. Most of the time. Though if you're looking for actual ninja and not just Naruto precursor, then this isn't the show for you. That's right, I said it. Neither Ninja Scroll or Naruto are anything close to accurate ninja. But at least Ninja Scroll doesn't pump dozens of episodes of filler, so it's lacking that egregious sin. Also, the other plots aren't just this also happens kind of stories. They usually provide a level of character growth or backstory, depending on who's the focus. And all of that does end up coming to play again when the characters have to make choices during the main plot. So it maintains its value even when it isn't the main story. I am the NBT. This has been the Noble Weeaboo. Like or don't, sub or don't. And thank you for watching. If I was to recommend Ninja Scroll, watch the movie. Honestly, it's the better product. The series isn't bad at all, but if you're not accustomed to the style and flow of its era, then you probably won't enjoy it as much. But for people my age, it's very, very nostalgic. Staying up late nights on weekends just so you can watch something that your parents would probably object to. I know mine did, especially when I wanted to watch Armitage. I should revisit that series.